Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. We'll do the Shanti part of this Upanishad. Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnururukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanma Vavatu Tad Vaktaram Avatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are at almost last verse of this Shikshavalli. Uske baad ek aur prayer hai, which is very similar to the other one, but a slightly different connotation. So we are at the last verse, you can almost say, besides that prayer. So now, what we saw, that this is like a last convocation message that the teacher is giving to the student. So he's kind of summarizing everything in this last verse, 7 verses, sorry. And so what does he say over here in the last one? He says, so he's concluding now. Final comment he's saying. And Swamiji was reminding that how this Upanishad is a conversational style of, because like we were talking about it, exactly that in our scriptures and all that, they gave a full freedom. Hey, don't believe anybody is saying until you are convinced of it. That's why I was making that comment that I can, we can do this class. I can tell you what Chinmayanandji said and what, other Swamis say and everything and what I think. But in the end, you have to decide for yourself, how much, what you want to take from there. So that's how we have to see it. So here the teacher, starts with, let me do the Sanskrit and then we will be able to. Esha Adesha, Esha Updesha, Esha Vedopanishad, Etad Anushasanam, Evam Upasitavyam, Evam Ucha Etad Upasyam. Otherwise it's a very big sandhi. So Esha means this. आदेश, हिंदी में हम बोलते हैं ना, आदेश दीजिए. पूरे महाभारत रामायण में होता है कमांड, आदेश मीन्स ऐसा ही करो. एंड फिर होता है एषः, दिस, उपदेशः, इट्स टीचिंग, थोड़ा माइल्ड. वन होता है टीचिंग, एक होता है आदेश. तो पहले आदेश बोला फिर टीचिंग बोला. विल सी देयर साइकोलॉजी इन्वॉल्व्ड इन दैट. एषः, दिस इज वेदोपनिषद, मीन्स ये वेदों का कमांड है और वेदों का सीक्रेट बोलो, व्हिचएवर वे यू वांट. वेदों में जो बोला गया वो है, ये जो भी इनको सिखाया गया है ना, वो वेदों का सिखाया गया है. उसमें अपना कुछ नहीं है. अनुशासनम, कमांडमेंट. सो यहाँ आदेश और अनुशासनम. अनुशासन का मतलब वैसे हिंदी में होता है कि डिसिप्लिन, राइट. बट उसका जो मीनिंग है यही है कि डिसिप्लिन में रहो इस ढंग से. डिसिप्लिन में रूल होता है, राइट, कि वे ऐसा करो, ऐसा नहीं कर सकते तुम. तो उसके लिए उसको कमांडमेंट बोला है, अनुशासन है. एवं इज इन दिस वे. उपासितव्यम, तुमको इस ढंग से उसकी उपासना करनी चाहिए और इस ढंग से लाइफ जीनी चाहिए. दैट्स व्हाट इट मीन्स. एंड एशम इज अगेन दस. उ इज वेरीली, च इज एंड, एतद दिस, उपास्यम वन मस्ट एक्ट. सो जैसा तुमने इसी ढंग से तुम अपनी जिंदगी बिताओ. That's what it means. Just all these things, starting from dharmam chara, satyam vada, dharmam chara, all those things come in there. Whatever, when they say इसी ढंग से, कौन से ढंग से? सत्य बोलो, धर्म के मार्ग पे चलो, मातृदेव भव, पितृदेव भव, आचार्य देव भव, all those things that we did, and then how we saw that what should be your attitude towards learned people. उनका सत्कार करो, उनको सम्मान दो, उनके सामने झुक के रहो, ये सब. एंड देन लॉ ऑफ चैरिटी हमने देखा कि चैरिटी भी एवं ही नहीं जाके दे दो किसी को भी. these are the rules of good charity, वो भी बताया हमको. And then कि अगर कुछ गड़बड़ हो जाए मेरी ज़िंदगी में तो मैं who should I look up to for answers. So they told us कि who are the wise men, उसके लक्षण क्या हैं wise men के. Independent thinker, but the one who is kind of rooted in the dharma, rooted in the shastras and also all that we saw. So this is उसके बारे में बोला जा रहा है कि ऐसे ऐसे जियो. Okay, so जब ये वर्स मतलब शुरू हुआ ना ये श्लोका, तो पहले तो जोश में आके टीचर ने बोला दिस इज अ आदेश, इसको ये कमांडमेंट. फिर सडनली टीचर को लगा उनके चेहरे देखकर ये इन लोग को अच्छा नहीं लगा ये. नोबडी लाइक्स टू से कि ऑर्डर देना तो अच्छा नहीं लगता अपने को, अपनी स्वतंत्रता के ऊपर कुछ किसी बच्चे को भी बोलो ना तो वो नो ही बोलेगा. लाइक अ ग्रैंडसन ही इज एक्चुअली इन द हाउस, इसीलिए वो ही आया था. माय डॉटर इन लॉ केम, दे आर इन द अदर रूम, आई कैन हियर देम. उसको कुछ भी बोलो ना तो उल्टा ही करेगा अभी, बिकॉज नोबडी लाइक्स टू. सो टोन डाउन कर दिया टीचर ने. इमीडिएटली बोला आदेश से उसको ना टीचिंग बता दिया, इट इज ए उपदेश. लेकिन फिर टीचर को याद आया कि जो भी मैं उपदेश दे रहा हूँ वो एवं ही नहीं दे रहा हूँ, ये सब शास्त्र से दे रहा हूँ मैं. शास्त्र इज लाइक अ कंप्लीट क्या बोलना चाहिए, पीयर रिव्यूड थिंग. जैसे साइंस में बोलते हैं ना कि ये नहीं कि अपने मन घड़ंत कुछ बना दिया किसी ने. द पीपल हु हैव गॉट सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन, उनकी वाणी है ये. और इसीलिए शास्त्रों की को ना अपुरुषय बताया गया है कि इट्स नॉट कमिंग फ्रॉम ह्यूमन इंटेलेक्ट, इट्स काइंड ऑफ डाउनलोडेड फ्रॉम द हायर. तभी व्हेन यू रीड दिस वाल्मीकि रामायण, एवरीथिंग वाज डाउनलोडेड to Valmiki ji with Brahma ji's Ashirvad and Narad ji's Ashirvad. Everything got downloaded. He could see it as clearly as you see daytime what happened in the whole Ramayana with so much detail. I mean उनकी वंशावली जो बताई है ना, 49 kings, कौन उसका फादर था, उसका फादर, उसका स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम ब्रह्मा जी. मतलब the detail is just mind boggling. Ordinary person cannot write until it gets downloaded from some higher thing. So all this is downloaded from the higher. So they know that students are, then they're going to have more respect कि भाई ये वेदों का मैं बता रहा हूँ तुमको. एंड उसके बाद उसको फिर से कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया अपने टीचर को, ये अभी वेदों का है तो दिस इज व्हाट यू शुड फॉलो. तो उसने फिर जोर से ठोक के कहा कि इसको तुम अनुशासन समझो, दिस इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द गॉड ओनली, ऑल दीज commandments, and then you should follow it diligently by every seeker to get the worldly prosperity as well as spiritual progress. Because worldly prosperity को भी वहाँ पर पीछे नहीं, ये नहीं बोला कि सब छोड़ छाड़ के गुफा में बैठ जाओ. Remember they said कि go and earn the money, take care of your family, have children, get married, everything. So that's what it is saying, that this is what this end में बोला गया. Any question or comment? Okay, so Sushil ji, if not, then we can read.
This is the command, this is the teaching, this is the secret of Vedas, this is the commandment, this should be observed. Verily, having understood this fully, one must act in the way taught above, continuously till the last, and not otherwise. With this seventh wave of thought, this section concludes, and the master is here concluding his discourse. When we follow merely the word meaning, we are apt to misjudge these words as a vain repetition of similar words already used, almost conveying the same sense. But on a closer analysis, we can discover that in the dynamic layout of the Upanishads, as a conversation between the teacher and the taught, these words declare the character of the student as well as the temperament of the teacher.
So here again, same thing, same kind of thought is repeated over here. Don't take just the word meaning because we'll miss it. But, hey, what is their mindset? Where are they coming from? And then why they are saying what they are saying, all that has to be taken into consideration. The right context of it, ये नहीं कि मैं ये आदेश है तो ये ही करो, but उसके पीछे बहुत रीजन बताया है क्यों करो ये, that's what they are trying to say.
Concluding his exhortation, the teacher declares that this is the command, Adesha. In the next sentence, he amends it by a much more tamer term, such as, this is the advice, Updesha. In the dramatic situation here, it should be amply clear to any reader what exactly must have made the teacher amend his words. As soon as he declared that this is the command, in spite of their reverence to the Guru, the Hindu students temperamentally not very willing to accept command on ethical and moral rules from anybody, even if it be from their own Guru, unless he paused to explain and make them understand the logic of it, expressed a revolt in their looks. This attitude of intellectual dissatisfaction might have expressed itself in the speaking eyes of the young students, and so the Guru dilutes his emphasis by his amendment.
So we saw that how first उन्होंने बोला command और आदेश, फिर झट से बोल दिया teaching. तो थोड़ा mild कर दिया, because we've discussed that young people don't like to hear, like I remember that was Taittriya Man, and we used to say sense control, because that's the word used in chapter 3 and all that, 2 and 3, that you have to control your senses. And he was saying that how the teenagers don't like the word control. So he changed it. He called it sense management. then they are happy with it. Whatever it is, manage it correctly. And the control बोला तो भाग जाएंगे आधे से ज़्यादा. तो वही है यहाँ पे भी. Mild कर दिया.
Again, the discriminative intellect of the Vedic generation, even in their youthful days, were audacious enough to question the teacher until they got complete satisfaction, and the teacher also never misunderstood their students. They, on the other hand, always expected and encouraged in their students all intellectual honesty and freedom. Seeing this healthy sign of revolt against an individual's intellectual dictatorship, especially in moral and ethical values, the teacher again appealed to them to accept what he said, since his arguments were in no sense a mere intellectual hypothesis born of his own independent intellectual calculations, but were, he declared, the declarations of the Vedas, Veda Upanishad.
So, many things are here in this paragraph. So one is that we discussed it, that it's full freedom is given in our Shastras, to ask questions. And, but there is one thing that Swamiji Krishna Bhagwan talked about it very much, not taking out small faults unnecessarily. That अगर वो स्टूडेंट करने लगे, that is not going to fructify. But कोई genuine inquiry हो, I'm truly trying to understand what it is, उसके हिसाब से तुम प्रश्न पूछो, पूरी छूट है उसमें, and the teacher is not going to get offended. So that's why I'm saying, no matter how much you think your question is stupid, it's okay to ask. There will be some answer, So that's what it is. That, and then other thing, very important thing that he mentioned, that now the teacher is going to say that, hey, whatever I'm telling you, it is not coming from just the human intellect. And things that just come from human intellect, उसका हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ गड़बड़ होता है उसमें. Okay? Like, I was just going to say that sometimes, कोई एक theory बनती है West में, medical में भी कुछ होता है ऐसा, कुछ बनाएंगे, oh, this is good for you to eat. Or, after about 5 months, no, this is not good for you to eat. Or you do this and, जो जितने भी diet यहाँ पर आए ना, यहाँ पर पता नहीं क्या क्या आया, Anderson diet and Falana diet, and now there is some other crazy stuff going on that you have to अपने आप को 16 घंटे तक भूखा रखो, उसके बाद खाओ, जो भी, I don't know all that. So, किसी ने बोला कि ये इतनी सारी diet बोलते हैं, कोई एक चीज़ balanced diet भी होती है भाई. वही कर लो, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. कोई भी चीज की अति करोगे तो कुछ गड़बड़ ही होगा. It's coming from some one person, and there was even a joke that the guy वो बोल रहा था ये डाइट करो, वो डाइट, वही खुद ही मर गया वो. Like he died like of some early death. So it didn't work for him, so what other people is going to work for? But if something is coming from the Shastras, time tested, coming from higher, validated by thousands of rishis, experienced the same thing, इतना ज़्यादा उसमें दम है ना कि you have to just, there is no question left. पर उसमें भी श्रद्धा होने के लिए टाइम लगता है. I mean, if you see Bhagavad Gita also, कृष्ण भगवान ने चैप्टर 4 में बता दिया कि आई एम दैट ब्राह्मण. फिर भी उसने प्रश्न पूछे ना अर्जुन ने कितने, तो कृष्ण भगवान ने उसको बहुत प्रेम से जवाब दिया, बिकॉज कृष्ण भगवान वांटेड हिम टू अंडरस्टैंड इट. एंड देन इन द एंड ही गेव हिम कंप्लीट फ्रीडम. ही सेड, you do as you please after hearing me, but you are my friend, so I think you should do it this way. दोनों बोल दिया. थोड़ा सा ये भी, so it's like a same like a parent, you know that they may not listen to you, but you still want to tell them what you think from your experience. So that's what it is.
Those who understand and who will enter into the spirit of the Vedas know that declaration of the Vedas are not subject matter for doubt, since they are all declarations of the saints and sages who report their own transcendental experiences rather than enunciate with their finite and limited intellect.
So we saw that, we discussed it in detail, and somebody was saying that people who come from that state of transcendental experience, वो जो बोलते हैं वो शास्त्र बन जाता है. So that's what it is, that unki vani mein, and sometimes when you hear from their own experience, it goes deeper into you also than somebody just repeating it. That's why there's so much power in these people's words, that it will penetrate your soul, and you'll believe it in them a lot more.
Once a teacher remembers that what he has declared is the cream of Hinduism, as declared by the endless hierarchy of the divine masters, then he gains a self-confidence, as it were, in himself, and explodes, saying that this is the commandment of the Lord, the very creator of life,
अनुशासन से बना है, अनुशासनम. तो उसका डीपर मीनिंग है अनुशासनम इन द शास्त्रा. व्हेन यू से अनुशासनम, इसका मतलब है कमिंग फ्रॉम द हायर सेल्फ. So now he's just saying that this hierarchy of divine master. And I remember when we were doing which Upanishad we were doing मांडुक्य, उसमें वो पूरा एक वर्स था कि ये जो उनका शांति पाठ था ना, of one of the section of that Upanishad, it said that where this knowledge is coming from Brahma ji itself. ब्रह्मा जी से फिर नारद जी को मिले, फिर ये वो, फिर फाइनली it went to Gaudapad ji. Gaudapad ji gave it to Shankaracharya ji, and then he wrote the commentary. So there is a hierarchy, and it's a knowledge coming from the higher.
The above passages, starting with Satyam Vada, consisting of 25 items and divisible into 6 waves of thoughts, constitute the sacred commandments in Hinduism. The waves of thoughts, as indicated in this section, are advice regarding the individual himself, his relationship with others, his right action in the world, his attitude towards the eminent men of culture, the laws of charity, and his duties to follow the eminent living men of his own times.
So we saw that these are in this each verse that he's talking about. You can go back and refer to it, that what they are saying. So about himself, relationship with others, his right action in the world, attitude towards the men of culture, wise people in the world, law of charity, and and duty to follow. You should have somebody to look up to. This is how I want to do, because we all need that, right? We need mentors. We need people to look up to.
In the 7th wave of thought, the teacher concludes, saying that these commandments are to be followed diligently by every intelligent seeker who lives his life for a higher cultural purpose besides his worldly ambitions and secular activities. In short, over the shoulders of students, as it were, the Rishi of Taittriya Upanishad is addressing the entire Hindu community to follow these commandments.
So that we know that even though this is a conversation between, teacher and the student of that time, it is meant for all of us. The same thing like Bhagavad Gita. It is, conversation between. किसी ने बोला कि, Krishna Bhagwan ji was having a private conversation with Arjun. That was not, some crazy people have that thinking that वो हमारे लिए नहीं है, वो तो खाली अर्जुन के लिए था भाई. तो अगर हमारे लिए नहीं होता तो संजय को क्यों बोला कि भाई he can see it too, and then he's talking to them, and the whole महाभारत में उसका so it was meant to be. Arjun was just a kind of a reason. उसको निमित्त बना दिया, उसको एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट बना दिया बताने के लिए. और उसको ऐसी सिचुएशन थी उसकी, अर्जुन की, कि वो सिचुएशन में जो भगवद गीता सीख सकता तो हम क्यों नहीं. बिकॉज हम लोग के इतना बुरा सिचुएशन तो नहीं आया हमारा कि वी हैव टू गो किल our loved ones and all that. Anyway, a lot of things are in there. So it's meant for all of us. And then, so I think this Upanishad has its own very interesting angle for a lot of things. And it makes us think a lot of different ways. Any comment, question? Meena ji?
Yeah, there's difference in this Upanishad. It tells you the way of life before you take to the ultimate.
Very
Usually with the Om, I'm thinking of Mandukya Upanishad, straight to the point, how to do it.
Correct.
But this tells you, the way, so that your mind is set, your mind is clear, your thoughts are clear in order to do that. So this is very good. Starting from the very first, like you're from a child onwards, how to live all the way. So it's beautiful in that way, I think of it. How to live, is showing you.
Yeah, very good observation. Yes, true. Yeah. Absolutely. Because sometimes, Mandukya, I remember that when some of my friends, they first joined the Mandukya class, they said, my God, this is too difficult. Because it especially even the, and you guys were here when we did that. But I just wanted to do it once in my life. But it took us so long, and there were such complicated things in there. Us hisab se, this one is more easy to follow because of what you're saying, that they're going from a very baseline.
Yes, I mean, it was hard, but now we see the how, they brought it up. So it's easy to understand. Then you can understand the way of thinking in that one. So.
And the other interesting thing is this 7 waves of thoughts that Swamiji has divided into. Those are the things we deal with it every day. That defines our entire life, So...
as Teji was saying, how should we look it up? This is the way. Am I following this? Am I doing this? Or where do I lag? Or, this can be
roadmap.
Yeah, because to what this one is saying and what Teji was saying.
Yeah, it is like, I think if you're making some progress, somewhere you will know it.
Right. And these are the steps he's telling you, okay? So you can see yourself.
So he was talking about the GPS. So, I think in Chinmaya Mission, they talk about it, Guru Positioning System. It tells you where. So, and हम लोग को इतना आदत पड़ गई है GPS की, अभी पता सोचते हैं कि उसके बिना काम कैसे चलता था, हम लोग वेकेशन वगैरह कैसे लेते थे, राइट, इतना बड़ा बड़ा मैप लेके फिर हस्बैंड वाइफ में झगड़े हो रहे हैं बिकॉज यू टोल्ड मी टू गो टू रॉन्ग प्लेस, और वो मैप कभी ऐसे उड़ के कवर ही कर देगा उसको. और अगर मैप कहीं यहाँ वहाँ हो गया, फिर कभी फट जाता था मैप, कभी कुछ हो जाता था. ओह माय गॉड, अभी तो
पहले तो मुझे 1 घंटा लगता था ट्रिपल ऑफिस में जाने
एग्जैक्टली ट्रिपल ऑफिस में जाके वो सभी के पास ट्रिपल के वो क्या बोलते हैं मेंबरशिप था जस्ट फॉर द मैप्स. अब बेचारे का नाम और निशान भी नहीं है. अभी तो वो एडवर्टाइजमेंट भी आना खत्म हो गया. पहले लोगों ने काफी भेजा कि ज्वाइन करो, कोई करता ही नहीं था. तो वो तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ही खत्म हो गया. चलिए, दुनिया हमारे सामने ना इतनी चेंज हो गई है that just is shocking that how much from our childhood to now all those major discoveries, television, cell phones, everything came in front of us. हम सभी किताब लिख सकते हैं इस बारे में. So anyway, और कुछ?
It's overall looking at it, the sun and the moon, you just see it. But there's so much meaning behind that.
So much meaning behind it. So much meaning. And they have so much influence on us too.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
are like integral part of our life.
It makes you understand how you connect with the outside world. You are there, and then the world outside, and how they're connected so beautifully.
Yes.
Everything. So,
yeah. और कुछ किसी का कुछ wisdom, any comment? We finished early today, but I'm happy to see.
What is the difference in the prayers for the first one and this that is coming up, right? I thought it was the same. What is the difference?
The last part is the same, because इसमें ऐसा बोला गया है, prayer में ऐसा बोला गया है, तन्मा ववतु तद वक्तारम अवतु अवतु मा ववतु वक्तारम, right? So उसका meaning है, may that protect me, may that protect the speaker, please protect me, please protect the speaker, right? That's the meaning. अब इसका meaning देखो, इसमें बोला है कि I have declared the good. अभी मैंने ये declare बोल दिया good. Now this is like that way. That has protected me. So उधर बोल रहे हैं, prayer कर रहे हैं कि may this protect, और यहाँ पर बोल दिया it has already protected me. This has protected the teacher. So इसका मतलब कि वो fructify हो गया. जो मैं प्रार्थना कर रही थी वो मुझे मिल गया. That's how this thing ends.
Maji, can we conclude the session today with a prayer for Prabhakar?
Oh yes, thank you so much for reminding. That's why there was a reason why we finished early. So whoever didn't know Prabhakar ji, some of you came later. He was part of our Geeta group, and he very sincere. He used to ask questions. He used to comment. Very sweet man.
Very curious.
Very curious. He's a doctor, and he, I just heard, that he passed away, and because because of COVID, we didn't meet so much. So sometimes, when new people join, I don't know them that well, but he also attended Chinmaya Mission, and he was part of some of the study group over there. So we will just do Triambaka Mantra 3. We'll do a little silence, and we will pray for his Sadgati. And we will do Triambaka Mantra for him.
Maji, that Prabhakar ji passed away with a short medical thing from hospital. You didn't tell us that he passed away.
Yeah, just thank you for helping me. Yeah, he passed away about 10 days ago. I think that's what I heard from Sushil ji. And and I know that he had mentioned few times, he told me that he was not feeling well, but I didn't ask details about it. So he was probably going through some struggle of his health. Yes. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukavimiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamrutat. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May his soul attain Sadgati. Shanti, Shanti.